Welcome to my channel. I'm Carrie Fitz, owner and broker of Carrie Fitz Real Estate in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida, and our newest office in Fairhope, Alabama. Today's topic is one I hear all the time from parents, from buyers, from lenders, and especially from agents. Why aren't Gen Zs buying homes? There's a lot of noise out there about this generation, but the truth is much more practical and far less dramatic. Let's break it down. Does Gen Z even want to buy? First things, yes, Gen Zs absolutely want to own homes. They value stability, they value investment, and most surveys show that home ownership is still a top life goal for them. The problem isn't desire. The problem is the market Gen Z is walking into. Affordability, the biggest hurdle. Let's talk numbers for a moment. Over the last few years, home prices have climbed sharply, and even as the market cools in some areas, prices remain historically high. At the same time, we've watched interest rates jump from the 2 to 3% range to the 6 and 7% range. That means monthly payments are higher. Down payments take longer to save. Renting, which is also expensive, makes saving even harder. And wages haven't grown nearly as fast as home prices. So Gen Zs, they're not waiting around because they want to. They're trying to do the math, and the math has been tough. Another challenge, inventory. There's a lack of starter homes. We simply don't have enough affordable entry-level homes. New construction is leaned toward larger, higher-priced properties, and because building materials, land costs, and labor costs have all risen, those starter homes previous generations purchased earlier in life, Gen Zs aren't seeing nearly as many of them. This puts pressure on the lower price units, which often means bidding wars, faster timelines, and more discouragement for first-time home buyers. Lifestyle isn't the issue, stability is. There's a misconception that Gen Z doesn't want roots, that they prefer traveling or renting indefinitely. I haven't seen that to be the case. Here's what's true. Gen Zs, they're cautious. They've watched the economic shifts their entire lives. They care deeply about financial security, yay them, and they want to make smart, stable decisions. They're not avoiding home ownership. They're trying to figure out how to enter the market responsibly. The good news for buyers and for agents, now we've talked about the challenges, let's talk about the bright spots. Gen Z is actually one of the most prepared generations we've seen when it comes to doing research. They understand credit earlier. They follow real estate trends online. They ask thoughtful questions, they save aggressively, and they want transparency from their agents, lenders, any of the industry professionals. So this is a great opportunity. If you can provide information, communicate in ways they prefer, and guide them step by step, Gen Z buyers become loyal, informed, and highly engaged clients. And for Gen Z listeners, you can enter the market. Options like down payment assistance, credit boosting strategies, and buying in more affordable areas are opening doors every day. Real estate is about people. At the end of the day, Gen Z's challenges aren't about attitude. They're about timing, economics, and opportunity. And the more we all understand these market realities, whether as agents, lenders, or potential buyers, the better we can support this generation as they enter home ownership. Well, that's it for today. Carry on with Carrie Fitz. I hope this was helpful and shed a little more light on why Gen Z isn't buying at the same pace as previous generations and why that's not the whole story. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might find it helpful. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, in real estate, knowledge is your best friend. Carry on.